back as I can remember, I've always been black, but haven't always had the best time being embraced by the black community. While I was cared for and nurtured by the black community, I found myself being considered pseudo or false black, meaning that while I had black skin, I wasn't fully adjusted to the culture, voiding a value that the black community took seriously. It at first seemed that one of my biggest conflicts in life would be in defining, or rather undefining, my blackness to the community. However, it seemed that my disadherence to black culture was seen as a novelty to other cultures, significantly speaking, and I hate to say it this way, the white kids at school. It seemed that I was welcomed for the sole fact that I, and I quote, didn't act like the others. Me not being so obsessed with race, I found it amusing, especially seeing as I was somewhat comforted by the notion that I was somehow special or different. Though as I grew older, I sensed a more subliminal or malicious suggestion around this topic.
You can't sound like a color nigga. Look at me. I'm a sexy melanated black man.
Pause. What's wrong with this image? Well, for starters, a lot of people might not agree that this man is actually behaving like a black person. This is just one of many examples of young black men being criticized for not fitting into the stereotypical expectations surrounding their skin color. I never took the idea of race serious. I recall being bullied by other black kids in school for my articulates and what I would consider suburban traits. Around that time, if you were a black kid with non-typical black interests, you were weird. While I found myself a novelty after 6th or 7th grade, it only lasted a short while before I was surrounded by an expectation to be more black. Whether it was black kids cooning me or other races holding me to stereotypes they learned from popular media, it became harder and harder to ignore the idea of racism. Negrofication is the process in which suburban-born children are steered to and rewarded for being more black. A great depiction of this can be found in Donald Glover's Atlanta. In episode 9 of season 3, titled Rich Wigga, Poor Wigga, we see a young, mixed-race man who is adjusted to a suburban lifestyle desperately attempt to gain a scholarship given out to black kids who need the tuition. The only catch is, he has to prove his blackness to a board of judges. It is an excellent depiction of the pressures associated with negrification in America. Although I have to address that the protagonist of the story is not perfect by any means, so it can be said that he deserves what happens. It's got great performances throughout the entire episode, as well as being wonderfully produced and written. Kind of feels like you're watching an episode of The Twilight Zone. I highly suggest you check this out if you'd like to understand more about the essay. I also recommend that you check out the rest of the series. It's wonderfully executed, and I think it's honestly one of Donald Glover's most entertaining pieces of media so far. As young black men grow up in America, I feel there is unjust pressure to fit in that may lead to a long-term identity crisis over time, especially trying not to be racist in a world where race still seems to matter. Caught up between two sides of an argument that none of them started, it can be hard to find a place when your identity exists between a range of black or
Fight! You shut the fuck up! You are right! You right!
The stress of the socio-political problem more than likely has some feeling like they're switching back and forth between two sides that they may be equally on.
Go on TV and it's a fucking dog attacking someone. Every time you turn on the TV, it's a fucking dog. A dog bit a 5-year-old today. When you go outside and you see a fucking dog, the only thing you know about dogs is that it fucking bites people. And it made me think, are some people genuinely racist, or is it all that they've seen of it? It's random thought.
Why is it that this image sells better than this image? Where are our black Einsteins? Our black Isaac Newtons? Great Scott! I would even be okay with a black version of the Doc from Back to the Future. Instead of images of black men being portrayed for their intelligence, wit, and civility, we're given images of black men surviving in some neo-political Wild West. And we wonder why the community has these racist expectations burnt into their brains. We're feeding it to them.
I let my tape pop, and if I hit the switch, I can make the ass drop.
And you don't stop.
You don't stop. Never eat your pig, cause a pig is a cop.
I got the rap patrol on the Gat Patrol. Ladies love me long time like Tupac Soul.
Like roll, like dough, like dro, nitro. And if you don't know, now you know.
This is how black men are being presented to impressionable youth around America. This teaches young black kids that if they want to be respected, desired, or wealthy, these are the men they should imitate. This is mass negrofication, normalized as a culture being sold to children before they have any socio-political understanding of what's going on. And by the time they realize, they're too busy protecting the choices that they've made to create any real opportunities for change. Here are some ways that I think we can reduce negrification and ultimately improve the black community's image across the entire world. First, let's stop telling the same story about poverty. Let's stop telling the same story about having to survive a bunch of bullshit. Let's start telling the cool stories. The stories where black people have already made it. The stories where black people are already adjusted, are already able to take care of themselves. Let's show black people being people. Let's stop presenting them as heroes in some sort of disaster world. Let's start making them people. Then, let's make the cool guys cool. I'm a cool guy, okay? I'm a very cool person. Look at me. Look at me. I'm smart. I'm a smart person. I'm cool. And finally, just shut the fuck up. You see a black kid being something that you didn't expect them to be? Shut the fuck up. That's it. You see anybody of any race being something that you didn't expect them to be, shut the fuck up. That's it. Just learn. Just don't say anything. Don't be like, oh my God, this changes everything for me. Shut the fuck up. It's normal. It's a normal thing, okay? It doesn't matter what race you are. You can be whatever you want to be now. That's what we worked for. That's what we did, okay? So shut the fuck up, you know? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be rude, but shut the fuck up. Okay, right. Thank you for watching.